Madam Chair, the amount of necessary substantive material for this debate of what we got from the OG, except for the idea of AI having different perspective, which is beneficial for development, is absolutely nothing. But before we move on to those prospects of this debate and enhance its scope, let me give you a brief traditional story which may happen in the future. A person developed a strong AI, that is an artificial intelligence which has human-like self-awareness and these forms of capabilities, and asked the most fundamental triggering question of humanity, that is there God? The AI replied, there is now. These are the forms of dangers which are going to explore in this debate, and we're going to broaden the horizon of this debate, but not only talk about the potential dangers to other forms of life species that exist in the earth, but also talk about social and other forms of values that are in compromise and are in trade-off in this debate. But before moving on to this argument, where I'm going to first talk about is there even a necessity of it, and secondly, the kind of mechanistic society creates, some basic forms of rebuttals before moving further. Firstly, if they had taken my POI, they would get a question of why a judiciary system is even important in the first place, because that's like a different judiciary system. Because if there is a different judiciary system, they need to now defend a burden that is like, how will this AI be integrated in the society when they are completely treated differently? And how will these people perceive some forms of species that are different from them because they have a different set of practices, they have different set of values, and also different set of judicial system because the state recognizes them as something that is different. But then they come and tell us that like there will be advancement and creativity, something I'll deal with in my argument. Some like premises that they said are wrong. They said normal AI is an AI that has intuition, now we have self-awareness. False, normal AI does not have intuition, it has rational thinking. Intuition is something more beyond that. The maximum form of intuition you get is through Google mind, but that's only rational forms of calculation. This debate is where they should have talked about benefits, they talk about only one, we're going to deal with that later on. However, talking about this idea that nuclear weapons also does exist, we regulated, why not AI? Something that they stole from my math file. But moreover, to argue on this, when in this present system, the nuclear weapons are regulated because human beings are a primary controller of these kind of weapons. When these AIs are integrated into the society, they will be equal in forms of these forms of interactions with human beings, as well as that of like the governance practices, that of like policy making practices, decision making practices. So therefore, these are the reasons to why it's possibly not as safe in terms of regulation. That is, these are independent thinkers and have independent capability of making decisions within the system that exists. Before moving on, yes.
Sir, I clearly mentioned about the legislative laws that would be made to intact, and how does even integrating into the society cause any harm?
Of course there are legal laws. That's why we don't say that because we have AI tomorrow the world is going to die. But what we will show you in this debate is the kind of probability that exists when these so-called people are within the kind of system that already does exist. What the op needs to show is it fine for an AI to replace humans or even overthrow them if they want to? Secondly, they need to like show us the comparison as to like what kind of mechanistic society is it going to create, and is it fair for these people to become a part of this society? Thirdly, why personhood? The benefits they talk about in their side is something that can happen even without giving these people personhood, right? You have an amazing like human mind, like computer, and those forms of things that you have in the society. These forms of development can happen without even giving them a moral and legal right. Why? They need to tell us this. The basic characterization in this debate would be that these are highly creative or like highly intellectual so-called people, and they have to like concede that even if there are harms that exist, even if they exist, they need to still defend the case. That's something that they must do in this debate. No sir. Arguments. One, is this even necessary? Firstly, what kind of people are we talking about? Firstly, if these people are like normal like human beings, there's absolutely no necessity of creating them. But secondly, we assume that they're talking about more advanced form of people, so-called people that have like amazing intellectual capabilities. There are dangers. Now understand this, that in the past, weak AI was more about human beings encoding morality in them. That is, if I say that you should do this work with a utilitarian framework, that's what the AI would follow. If you need to save 3 lives in comparison to 1, that's what the AI would follow. But now we're talking about advanced and stronger AIs, that is, i.e. the ones with self-awareness, right? These are independent thinkers. And what are specific harms to that can happen to the society when they come in? Because notice this, when in the past they could be a complementary force of human beings, they have the potential of becoming a primary force among human beings, right? So what are specific harms? First, if AI feels that human beings are wrong, which we are in many instances, that's why we have things such as war, things such as politics gone wrong in many instances, they are independent thinkers who can opt into this perception that I'm going to change this. That is, i.e. human beings are here in this instances are doing something wrong, therefore I will replace this. These are probabilities that you just can't ignore when you give people self-awareness and an independent capability of making decisions, right? So that's something that you must acknowledge in your side, because these are the instances where your side of the house's regulations idea fails, because you may have these forms of robots in the field of making these kind of decisions, right? In the field of making these kinds of policies and regulations which we need, which we potentially need in this world, right? So the comparative that they need to defend in terms of regulation is what kind of humongous and amazing kind of regulation you might possibly have in this debate. They must do this in order to like continue this debate. Secondly, we have a fearful society if this happens. That is, if a robot starts developing more and more power, more and more economy in the society, you have human beings fearing that these people are getting better off than us. We wouldn't want a society where human beings are, we already live in a very competitive society, we wouldn't want to make this more fearful. The second thing I'm going to talk about in my speech is about how it promotes mechanistic environment and automated works. This is harmful. When robots replace human beings, you replace human beings' productive capacity as well. Because when I, as a person who's doing labor, my works are being replaced by another person who just looks like me but isn't a human, that's a harm on my end. That is, I will lose my job. If you look at it from a macro level perspective, these people are potential enough to create more and more kind of skill, more and more kind of development works, more and more kind of infrastructure, more and more kind of mechanistic environment, right? The fundamental harm that exists in the idea of mechanistic labor is that many people opt out of job and are completely stranded to not explore their pursuit of happiness, right? This is also morally unfair because we live in a world where human beings are struggling, right? So in a world where human beings are struggling with their own pursuit, it's completely unfair to bring up more and more population of these kind of self-awareness creating intellectual human beings to like replace this kind of human beings. That's fundamentally flawed and fundamentally wrong of an answer to take. The last thing I'm going to talk about in my speech is the credit of work. If a robot wins a Nobel Prize, no Mr. No Madam Chair, I will not be happy. That is, these are the kind of works or these are the kind of rewards which I'll be happier if a human being receives. These are the kind of rewards which I as a human being will be happier to get if I compete with them and if another human being competes with me. But if I have someone who is as competent and in this instance even more competent on me, these are the kind of credited works that these people will get. Considering that these people will not like probably be emotional enough to like recognize all of these things, we certainly think human beings will not be able to recognize the kind of happiness in this particular instance. We wouldn't want these kind of human beings, so-called human beings, to take on power and even have a probability of getting into our governance to be on power. That's very harmful. For the last time, very proud to oppose.